Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 10.1.54 Sri Vasudeva Uvacha Sri Vasudeva Uvacha Nahi asyaste bhayam saumya Nahi asyaste bhayam saumya Yad vai saha sarirabhak Yad vai saha sarirabhak Putran samarpaisya asya Putran samarpaisya asya Yataste bhayam uthitam Yataste bhayam uthitam Sri Vasudeva Uvacha Nahi asyaste bhayam saumya Yad vai saha sarirabhak Putran samarpayisya asya Yataste bhayam uthitam Sri Vasudeva Uvacha Sri Vasudeva said, no, not, he indeed. Asyaha from Devaki, they of you, bhayam, fear, Saumya, O most sober, yet which by indeed sa that omen aha dictated, O Sarira a Sarira back, a vibration without a body. Putran, all of my sons, Samar Paise I shall deliver to you. Asyaha of her Devaki, Yataha from whom they your bhayam fear uthitam aja has arisen. Translation Vasudeva said, O best of the sober, you have nothing to fear from your sister Devaki, because of what you have heard from the unseen woman. The cause of death will be her sons. Therefore, I promise that when she gives birth to the sons from whom your fear has arisen, I shall deliver them all unto your hand. Purport Kamsa feared Devaki's existence because after her eighth pregnancy, she would have she would give birth to a son who would kill him. Vasudev, therefore, to assure his brother-in-law utmost safety, promised to bring him all the sons. He would not wait for the eighth son, but from the very beginning would deliver to the hands of Kamsa all the sons to which Devaki would give birth. This was the most liberal proposition offered by Vasudeva to Kansa. Hare Krishna. So, in this presentation, we will learn that the promise of Vasudeva. Why Vasudeva had to promise and its significant implications, the historical context based on the relationship of Kansa with Vasudeva and Devaki, what is the influence, why he had to take this decision, and we will explore the scholarly interpretations of Vaiṣṇava Āchāryas on this subject. So the promise of Vasudeva is to give the assurance to Kansa. First, he tried to give the assurance to Kansa that he will remain safe from the children of Vasudeva. But knowing that Kansa is not getting agreed to Vasudeva's so-called attempt to give assurance to Kaṁsa, then he had to do the promise. The promise was important and crucial. So here the arisal of lots of conflicting situation and emergency situation of emergency, situation of conflicts. Kansa is ready to kill the wife of Vasudeva. So that is the emergency situation, and he has to save his wife at the same time to handle the cruel Kamsa. So in this context, what is to do as per the religious principles becomes very critical. So which is called dharma sankata. The complexity of the situation which need deep moral and emotional analysis on the subjects, and there is not enough time to deeply analyze, consult somebody like his guru Acharya or Gargamuni. He cannot go and consult with Gargacharya what is to be done, or to somebody else. It's emergency situation. Instantly, the need of hours or minutes, need of minutes, instantly has to do something to save. This kind of situation can happen or is happening to all of us in various situations in our life. What is our experience of spiritual values, moral values, and how we can wedge between self interest and between the religious merits, between the attractions of our family life, and between the responsibility being a person in various varna and ashrama. What is the duty? So this kind of complex dynamics is very important to understand. What is the right theme of duty? What is the responsibility? How can I uphold these difficult situations within the boundary of religious principles? Certain things we have to sacrifice at certain moments. Certain moral dilemmas are also there. Like Vasudeva is going to sacrifice his children. Is it morally applicable? Allowing your children to be killed by a cruel person, is it morally applicable? Killing of children, you're handing over somebody who can kill. So that is the moral dilemmas. And the same time, there are obligations to protect the life. So then arises lots of possibilities that what will happen in future. Certain thing, if somebody is doing promises, he cannot break it. But when future is there, then there is possibility of Lord has to play a role in this. So he has given all the possibility that Lord has to play some role, even though he have to he had to promise to hand over every child to Kaṁsa. Yet because of his connection, because of his advancement in Krishna consciousness, because of his belief, faith in Supreme Personality of Godhead, that some way will be come out of the arrangement of Lord Krishna that will even protect them. And if this prophecy is coming, so it must be coming under the will of the providence. It cannot be beyond the boundary of the plan of Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Supreme Personality of Godhead himself is planning to come, even though this cruel person, Kaṁsa, is so powerful, he will have not that much power to overpower the will of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So various thought that has to be instantly analyzed. What is the course of actions? So the possibilities that few people will not analyze and find out a way out of the situation right now. Later on, we will see what is to be done. People in general, they can create any promise and break it. But people like advanced Kshatriyas, Vasudeva, here, is Kshatriya is the most truthful person who can never break their promise. Once done, cannot be broken. So at this situation, what is the right thing to do, and there is not enough time to analyze. So certain action one has to perform based on the consciousness. Meditating on Supreme Personality of Godhead is not possible at this time. Meditating or consulting with Guru is not possible at that time. So what is possible is that keeping the faith in Supreme Personality of Godhead, keeping the devotion and emotional feeling with Lord, taking the responsibility, duty, religiosity. Here, two religiosity are conflicting with each other. One is that to protect the wife is the responsibility of the husband. The protect the children is also the responsibility of the husband. Protection of the children is some times later when the children will be born. The instant demand is to protect the wife. So Vasudeva had to weigh between these two, protecting the wife first and depending upon Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there are time to pray Supreme Personality of Godhead to find a way out of his promise, so that their children will also be saved. And his desire to align with the supreme will of Supreme Personality of Godhead, that these things are all happening because of supreme will of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So definitely Supreme Personality of Godhead being so merciful to me, he always protected me, and in future he will be definitely have some plan to protect my children as well. So this kind of devotional attitude kept Vasudeva unperplexed at the situation of the emergency. What happened in ordinary course of actions? Whenever we are into certain problems or challenges like this, lots of cortisol released immediately whenever we are stressed, and there are reflex actions occurs. Most of the controllable abilities goes away as per the actions performed by the neurons and the senses. As concerned, there will be reflex actions to instantly give the response. That is the chemicals like cortisol they released kept kept the situation in the emergency mode. In emergency mode, lots of brain analysis cannot happen. Only certain important contextual analysis can hardly happen. So here the emotion can play a role. And this emotional intelligence, if is Krishna conscious, is practiced thoroughly through the process of devotional service of Krishna consciousness and has a solid dependency of Krishna, then his state of Asoka Abhaya will not be shaken. Asoka means the state of being not worried at any situation. Asoka is not simply possible by any person, but by great devotee, he can remain asoka at every instance, even though the surrounding was greatly troubled. That state of asoka is not achieved unless one has no other center than the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Asoka abhaya amruta adhara tomara charanadvaya. Who has chosen the source of all happiness is only the lotus feet of Supreme. His dependence, his belief, his faith, and his exchange of melange or emotions with Supreme Personality of Godhead is so strong that he has complete faith in Lord, and he will never be lamenting at any kind of situation ordained by Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maya adhakshanas prakriti suate sacharacharam. This material world is always acting under the supervision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Mahamaya Shakti or Durga Devi, who is controlling this Prakriti, Karja Karanam Kartute Hetur Prakriti Uchyate. The cause and effect are all happening through Prakriti under the supervision of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And yet, Mahatmanastu Mam Partha Daivim Prakriti Masritaha. The great devotee like Vasudeva, they are always protected by the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they are not controlled through Mahamaya, but by the divine pastimes of Lord Krishna, who is called Yogamaya. Ananyasyanta mam je jana parjupasati tesam nityabhijuktanam yogakshamam vahamiham. Lord always protect the needs and necessity of devotee. No matter whatever great difficult situation be there, Lord is always there to protect the requirements of the devotee, the basic need of the devotee, can never be unfulfilled. So this level of faith, emotional intelligence, and the exchange of loving devotional service give the solid experience in devotee. So at any kind of such situations, what is the greatest difficult situation can even occur is death. कमल दल जल जीवन टलमल भजऊ हरिपद नीति रे. We don't know at what point of time the water drop which is shaken in the leaf of the lotus plant can fall at any moment. Have you seen in winter especially the leaves of arvi or lotus leaf that is oily? If you put some drop of water, it will be shaking. At any point of time, it can fall down. This life is like that. In the hand of time, which is like the lotus leaf. Time is like the lotus leaf. And it is shaking the life like a drop of water. Any point of time, it can fall down. Bhajahu Haripada Niti re. The Hare Krishna. Yes, are you not able to see? हाँ है अभी दिख रहा है. So what is the essence here? The dependence on Supreme Personality of Godhead has to be very strong. So at any point of time, death can come, any big danger can come. We need not to be worried, but should always be fixed on this faith that Lord will protect us. There are many such stories. One of the stories from Lord Jagannath, Gita Panda story. He was not able to get food for 3 days, but he had completely dependency because he was always reading Bhagavad Gita. And there this sloka is written, Yogakshamam Vahamyaham. I will take care of all your necessities. So he was telling his wife that don't be worried. It will come by the arrangement of Lord Jagannath. But after 3 days, the wife lost the patience. Asked the husband, show me where Lord has written. So Gita Panda shown his Bhagavad Gita that this sloka, you read it. The wife out of anger torn that page. A pujari saw in the evening when they were offering that with water, they didn't see Lord appearing. So Lord is not taking food. When they saw that there is bleeding from the mouth of Lord Jagannath. And then the case went to the king. And king was worried that this pujari has done some mistakes. But later on, Lord Jagannath dreamed him that you are not protecting what promise I have made to all of my devotees. My devotees are now suffering from hunger and you are not giving the food. King, so by the arrangement, you have to provide everything. That is my order. They are doing their religious duty, being Brahmana who is reading Bhagavad Gita and preaching the society, saving them to do irreligious activities, engaging them in religious in protecting the world, but you are not protecting them. Then king supplied all the necessities, made a ashram for Gita Panda near the Jagannath temple that is still there. So this way, Lord always there to protect the necessity of devotees. One has to be very strongly remain the faith in Supreme Personality of Godhead, whatever the situation might be. So there are some tests put by Supreme Personality of Godhead by various situations. One need not to be worried. That might not be test, that might be the karma which Supreme Personality of Godhead want to finish in one go. Lord don't want his devotee to suffer life after life. Unlimited life's karma were washed away with little punishments what we suffer in this material life. So these things will not be understood by ordinary people, but the advanced devotee like Vasudeva will can understand this subject, how divine interventions are always available to protect the sublime devotional service and devotional relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead. Without that, we cannot understand the great character of the great devotees, the righteousness of Vasudeva, to deal with the tyranny of Kaṁsa and to weigh between what is the right course of actions at the emergency, are the crucial factor of the characters of Vaishnava to be analyzed. And Vasudeva is the best example who did a promise to protect not only religion but also her wife at the time. And in due course time, he was completely dependent upon the mercy of the Lord, who will definitely take care of the future. And these implications give us lots of teachings that how various Vaiṣṇava Āchāryas, Ramana, Ramanujacharya, Baladev Vidyabhusana, they all emphasized that the moral principles which is applied by Vasudeva is to protect the religion, the duty, the responsibility, even though it applies that that it can be seen that he is doing some mistake by not protecting his children's. So children's can never be handed over to a person as he is very much convinced that Supreme Personality of Godhead definitely protect, as the things are ordained by Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Supreme Personality of Godhead himself is coming to take birth in his family. So all these facts are supporting his decisions and is not at all moral in one perspective. Handing over this thing to Kaṁsa is moral in all the way possible analysis. So this is the significant stories that to be understood by Sanatana's principles, and all scholars support these principles of moral. This is a very key fact that we have to be fearless at all situations, depend on the mercy of Supreme Personality of God.